Okay. It's not bad at all. Sound quality is good. Fits really well as well. Just comfortable. Oh, I've done a great job here. I've been using the Nothing Ear 2s for a while now, and for £129, this is a bargain, and it's so close to the AirPods Pro 2. Let's find out. Starting with the packaging, you get everything you need to get started in there, including your Nothing Ear 2, as obvious, with the case as well, already in the case, ready to go. It's very similar to the first edition, so first generation of the Nothing Ears, in terms of the design and the looks and the case, which is not a bad thing. I think once you look at this, you know what you're getting straight away. And I'm glad that Nothing has stuck to this sort of design with a transparent casing, and it just makes it stand out a bit more from the crowd. In the box as well, you get some ear tips. So if the one that's pre-installed on here is not the right size for your ear canals, then you can always go for the small or large. I think the mediums are already pre-installed on there. It comes with a small charging cable as well, so you don't have to stretch it, especially if you're going to be carrying it about with you, which is great. You can just plug it in and off you go. It's got a user guide in there as well, so give that a read. It tells you what the stem does in terms of being able to click it and tap it and squeeze it or whatever to be able to operate the ear sticks themselves, the ear to themselves. But besides that, it's a very simple packaging, not a lot going on in there, so we're not going to dwell on the packaging too much. When it comes to the design, starting with the case, it's very straightforward and simple. You simply just open it up and you are introduced to your earbuds. Inside it, it's got ear case, it's got a little indicator light there to let you know that it's got some charge in it, or when it's charging as well, you'll be able to use that LED light there to tell you the status and what's actually happening there. Elsewhere around the case, you've got a little button there for pairing and also, again, checking the charging situation. And you've also got a USB-C port on there for charging the case itself and charging the whole thing back up. In terms of battery life, you're looking at 4 hours with active noise cancellation, and a 10 minutes fast charge gives you 8 hours extra with these things. And this case will charge it about 5 times over, so 5 times more, which is really good. It just means you'll be able to use this all day long. The battery life is still not up there when it comes to the AirPods Pro 2 or some of the other competitors on the market, including one from OnePlus as well. So it's still not up there when it comes to battery life. But I think what you get with this, with that level of battery life, I think it's more than okay. You can use it all day long. The case will allow you to recharge it when you need to charge it again. So I can't really think of an issue there unless you're really comparing it. Nothing have also improved the water and dust resistant rating. So this is now IP54 for the buds and IP55 for the case. It just means it's a lot more robust and just better than the predecessor in that sense. Once open up, you can then take your earbuds out. So the Nothing Ears to themselves. It's attached by magnets, and the red dot there signifies that's the right side, and the white dot signifies that's the left side. Again, if you've seen this before, straight away you know what's going on there. And it's very lightweight. This is very lightweight, so you can wear it all day long. And in terms of comfortability, this feels very comfortable. In fact, I can wear this all day long with no issues at all. One thing to mention here, though, that was quite odd for me is at one point I put this in my ears, and when I pulled it out of my ears, the actual ear tips got stuck in my ear. But luckily they're quite big, so it's easy to just take out my ears and you're good to go. So that attachment there is not the strongest to the actual earbuds itself. So be careful with the ear tips so you don't lose it out and about if you kind of take it out aggressively or in a rush or anything like that. But other than that, it's very lightweight. I love the design. I love the see-through casing. I love the little Nothing Ear 2 writing on the side there as well. So again, you'll be able to notice this. If you're comparing it to the predecessor, you'll be able to know that this is the second generation of the Nothing Ears. And other than that, it looks really nice. I think as far as design goes, this stands out. It's one of the best looking earbuds out there that I've seen so far. One thing I also love about this is how secure it is. So compared to your AirPods or AirPods Pro 2, for example, if you drop the case, the whole thing just goes flying everywhere. And that's happened so many times to myself and so many different people. And with this one, if you drop it, it's actually a lot more secure compared to the AirPods. And the only qualms I've got with this is this case scratches quite easily. So over time, it starts to look a bit tarty and kind of scratched up and stuff like that. But it tells a story. It means you've had it for a while, and that's the story of that case every time you get it out of your pocket. As far as the case design goes, I think it's great. The square shape doesn't bother me at all. It does kind of stick out in your pocket when you put it in your pocket. It takes up a bit more space compared to some of the curvier sort of cylindrical shapes and rectangle curved out shapes and stuff that you get normally. So it's different in that sense, but that doesn't bother me. I love the little dimple on it as well. It kind of becomes something that you rotate like that as you're walking around, like a little fidget spinner kind of thing. But I digress. That's just extra things that I don't even know if they did that on purpose for any reason. I think it's more to separate the earbuds inside of the case itself, so it kind of puts a separation between the earbuds once they're inside the case. So this are 11.6 millimeters in terms of the drivers in there, which is sort of tuned, well, not sort of, it's actually tuned by Nothing themselves. So, and the aim of this is to tune it to make it sound as the artist intends. And we tend to hear this a lot when it comes to earbuds and headphones. It's always how the artist intends, but that's subjective. So this is going to be something that you have to wear and actually test the sound quality and see how you feel. But as far as generalization goes with sound quality, I think this is very good. We'll get to that a little bit more in a second. But let's talk more about the app, because the app is actually one of my favorite things about the Nothing Ear 2. It looks so good. It's nice and slick, and it just it works really well. So loading up the application itself, as you can see there, straight away it tells you the battery percentage on the left and the right. And you also got a noise control button there. So you got equalizer, which if I tap equalizer there, you can see the options that you have. You can have balanced, more bass, more treble, voice. And you can also have a custom version as well, which means it does a whole bunch of measurements in your ears and sends sounds back and forth to measure what that actually feels like. So you can have your own balanced sort of personal profile. So you can have recommended or richer sound, and you can you can increase or decrease the intensity as well, depending on what you prefer. But play around with this and see what you like, because normally I have mine on richer and full-on intensity as well, because I think that's when I get the best sound quality for myself. And then on here, I can have more bass if I want to. You can have it balanced if you don't want to mess with anything that's to do with personalized profiling. So you can change all that depending on what you want. If we go back out, we can go to controls, and the controls are very ample as well. So you can double pinch, you can triple pinch, you can pinch and hold, you can double pinch and hold as well. So there's lots of options and things that you can do. So for example, if you double pinch, it gives you the option to skip back, skip forward, voice assistant, and decline incoming calls as well. And then triple one, you can do similar things again. So and then the one that you can't customize is a single pinch, because that's always going to be for play, pause, and answering and hanging up at the phone if you're on the phone, for example. And you can do this for both left and right. So you can tap right there, do this the same thing, do this for the left side. So it's up to you. So this is very responsive, and it just works really well. If you go into noise control, you can adjust this as well from noise cancellation. Under noise cancellation, you can have it to be adaptive based on your environment and where you are, or you can have it to be full on high. So depending on how you like it, you can have transparency mode, or you can turn it off completely. But I tend to have mine on noise cancellation, have it in high. But if I'm in a taxi, for example, whatever, in case the taxi driver wants to talk to me, then I have it as adaptive, because then I might be able to still hear the taxi driver in some cases, which is really good. So in settings as well, there's more stuff there. So you can have in-ear detection. You got personalized ANC, which I spoke about briefly. You have to do this test, which takes a few minutes to do. It's not very quick at all. You can have low lag mode. So this is very good actually for when you're gaming or watching videos in some cases, because there can be some lag when you're watching videos sometimes. And then you have high quality audio. So this supports LHDC codec, which means if you have the right audio source like Qbuzz or Tidal, for example, and you want to listen to high resolution music, you'll be able to switch that on, and then you can listen to that sort of level of music if you like. Going down, we have dual connection as well. This is good to have. So if you want to have it connected to your PC and your phone, you can have those dual connection without having to reconnect and connect all the time, which works really well. Which reminds me, by the way, when you're setting this up, as soon as you open up the lid, you got Google Fast Pair, which means you can quickly pair this up without having to faff around with Bluetooth settings and all that kind of stuff. Something that I'm used to doing now with a lot of my Bluetooth devices in terms of earbuds. So it's nice to have that on the Nothing here too as well. Besides that, you have things like ear tip fit test. So make sure that it fits properly in case you need to change the ear tip size. You also have Find My Earbuds as well, and your firmware updates. So you can quickly update this. So you can see what I mean by the software just looks really good and works really well. Very, very minimalist. All the settings are there. It's not overwhelming, and it talks you through everything you need to know in terms of what's what when you look at the app. So thumbs up to Nothing for that one. They've done a great job with the settings and the app. Over to the sound quality though, I think this sounds really good. I had no issues with sound quality, whether it's making phone calls, receiving phone calls. People can hear me on the other side. I can hear them clearly. Active noise cancellation still needs some work though when you compare it to the AirPods Pro 2, because this is there, but when it comes to transparency and adaptive and all that stuff, you don't really notice much of a difference between when it's off and when it's on. So that's something that you still need to, the level of intensity, not when it's off or on. So the level of active noise cancellation intensity still needs work. So for example, when you got high, mid, low, and dynamic, I couldn't really notice the difference between those range of active noise cancellation. And even when it's personalized, I still couldn't really notice the difference. So that's something that they need to work on. The personalization here with the audio test is not going to be as good as NeuroTrue, for example. I think theirs is a lot more better. You can actually notice the difference between personalized audio and something that's default on the app. So that's another thing that nothing needs to work on with this one. But other than that, I think music's good. Bass is not overpowering. Treble's good. The mids are good. It's great as well, especially for the kind of music that I listen to, like Afrobeats, hip hop and R&B, and some music with guitar, playing in there. You can hear everything clearly, and even better when you listen to audio from a higher resolution audio source like Qbuzz or Tidal. You get to notice the slight differentiation there, especially if you're an audiophile. You'll be able to listen clearly and hear those tiny little differentiation between the audio quality. But I think overall they've done a great job, and for £129, I don't think you can really go wrong with this. Noise cancellation is decent, battery life is decent, the design is great, works really well. You've even got dual connection functionality there as well. So I can't really fault it that much as well. So I think this is definitely a great buy. But other than that, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions about them, drop them there as well. I'll do my best to answer your questions. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.